Welcome everyone to the podcast. I am your host Afro Black coming at y'all with yet another episode with your boy slash co-host Mr. Markov's portrait. Say hello to the people.
Hello, tippity top keckers. Welcome back to another episode of the gamiest podcast this side of Gamertown.
Beautiful. See now, I love that. Love it. Okay. We got quite a few fucking articles to go through, but we don't want to be here for 4 hours, so we're gonna go through some of the greatest ones. Let's see here. Why don't we start with this KFC bullshit? Since you decided to put this in here as cursed fucking food items, Carter.
Oh, yeah, dude. So, God's gift to Earth, the KFC Double Down, is now back on the menu. And as a cross promotion for the upcoming heart attack that is Diablo 4, um, you are able to go and get beta access to Diablo 4 with the purchase of the KFC Double Down, as
That is
opposed to a
amazing.
pre-order.
Interesting. Order the
That's
fucking
it. How do you
sandwich.
how do you feel about that?
This is definitely an interesting marketing scheme. I'm curious to see how well this will work for them.
No, they know their demographic. They'll be fine.
That's fair. I guess at least you don't have to pay a lot of money for the fucking beta access, I suppose.
No, you pay about as much as you would put a deposit down on a pre-order, and you're at least getting a meal out of it.
Yes.
Granted, you should go get your fucking arteries pumped when you're done, but it's a
But
meal nonetheless.
it's at least bang for your buck. Um,
Yes.
yeah, it actually doesn't look too bad. What is it like two pieces of chicken
Do you
thigh?
not know what the KFC Double Down is?
No, I haven't been to
It is
KFC in years.
two giant fucking like basically chicken tenderloins where they put a slice of cheese and two strips of bacon in between.
This is insane.
The chicken is meant to be the buns.
I love it.
Double down means like double
Double the
the double
cholesterol.
bypass surgery you're gonna have to go through once you're done eating this.
Love it. Isn't that's just so great for us, dude?
So there you go. If you still have one of those Christ tier KFC Taco Bell combos, go get your fucking double down Baja Blast and spend a weekend playing what I'm sure will be the biggest disappointment of this year in video games.
Truth. Yeah. I actually haven't heard all too much about Diablo 4. In all honesty.
Has this swayed your decision to play the beta or the game at all?
Um, I'm gonna be honest. I don't eat a lot of fast food, and I haven't been to KFC in years, so I probably won't be getting the fucking beta.
Cool.
If I
I would
really
say
am invested in the game, then I'll look up reviews and shit and see how the replayability is. But outside of that, probably not.
that's fair. I would say, as far as KFC goes, you don't even need to go for the double down. Like, just get the mashed potatoes and their mac and cheese, and you're
True.
fucking golden pony boy.
I used to get their what the fuck's it called? Like that chicken bowl where they put like popcorn
Yeah,
chicken
the
in
the famous
there.
bowl.
The
Yeah,
yeah,
that shit's
yeah,
good. Like, that's
yes.
fine. That is the adequate amount of chicken.
Oh yes. Got some shredded cheese in there, some fucking
Potatoes and corn.
potatoes, corn.
The corn makes everything fucking go through, so it's not just lodged in your colon for a week.
Mhm. It's pretty great, and it's efficient.
I love it. It's
But
great.
but yeah. So if you guys want the early beta access, go and grab yourself a fucking sandwich. Very easy,
Stop
and it's
pre-ordering
tasty.
Activision games.
Yeah, just do it this
They're
way.
bad.
Just do it this way from now on.
I say as I'm mowing down. Granted, I'm playing one of the last good Call of Duties, but
That's fair.
I'm still playing Call of Duty as we record this. So,
That's great. One of
nah,
these
dude. I
days I'll
found like a
start.
fucking. Go ahead.
One of these days I'll start pre-recording gameplay to just throw in the background where we're talking about dumb shit.
That'll be rad. I found like a fucking 7-hour video on my YouTube feed, going over the entire Call of Duty Zombies storyline.
My God.
So I've been listening to that as like an audiobook the last few days, and it's really got me nostalgic for some Zams. So I've been playing Black Ops 3, which is like the peak zombies game.
Goddamn. I love it.
So
Um,
good.
let's see here. Moving on to another great but short article. So for people that don't know, actually no, people should know if they're watching the podcast and they watched the last episode. But I think the last episode we talked about an infamous Elden Ring player by the name of Let Me Solo Her.
Fuck
Um,
yeah.
he gained
God
internet
among men.
notoriety by just helping people beat Millennia. He would basically just solo her four players and usually wouldn't even get hit once. Um, so a Games Radar article came out saying Let Me Solo Her has played Elden Ring for almost 1,000 hours and has beaten Millennia over 4,000 times.
I love him.
That's great. Elden Ring,
I love
Elden
that
Ring
man.
community pillar Let Me Solo Her has played. It said stats. Speaking with Games Radar Plus as part of a broader interview reflecting on a year of Elden Ring and his hopes for the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, Let Me Solo Her explained that quote I stopped counting officially, but I'm confident that I'm over 4,000 millennia slain across 5 or 6 different Elden Ring characters. Three of them bearing his
See, I didn't
iconic
even realize
name.
he was doing different builds.
Yeah, I didn't
I thought he
either.
was just going in with the same fucking getup.
I mean, to be fair, after X amount of hours, you probably start getting bored.
I
So
guess.
I can't blame him for that.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. He's approaching 1,000 hours logged, and despite that, he's still exploring the lands between and discovering new things I haven't seen before. As of 10 months ago, Let Me Solo Her had beaten her 1,000 times before immediately restarting the game after hitting the milestone. So while he hasn't been playing Elden Ring or fighting Millennia as heavily, the Peerless Warrior has clearly kept up the good fight. I've beaten Millennia, or the looks like the author of this article has beaten Millennia exactly 2 times, and that's been enough for him. So I can't blame him.
I never beat her once.
If I ever get around to actually playing through Elden Ring again, I'll probably try and fight her.
You should
Let's
at least
see
play
here.
like the first half of the bosses
That's fair.
before they just tilt the scales and be completely unfair bullshit territory again.
Yeah. Not long hitting the big 1,000, Let Me Solo Her expressed hopes that other players would follow his lead and help their fellow Tarnished in the fight against Millennia as well as other bosses. Plenty of people certainly heard the call. We've seen imitators like Let Us Duo Her and Let Me Solo Them, and Let Me Solo
Let's
Her
duo
was
her.
actually able to speak with them and a few others. Quote, they talked about how much I inspired them to do what they do, and that makes me happy, end quote.
I love that.
That is great. Let's see. Yes. Okay,
I
that's.
don't know. Have we done an episode of the podcast since they announced the Elden Ring DLC?
I don't think we have. So why don't we go ahead and
Well,
talk
fuck.
about that since that's a good segue.
Hell yeah. They have not shared a lot of information about it, but in honor of 1 year anniversary of Elden Ring last month, they have finally, after months of speculation, announced that they are doing the first major expansion or DLC content for the game.
That is
All
beautiful.
we know right now is that it is coming out sometime this year. Um, Not really a lot of news on whether it's a free update or paid DLC. I'm assuming it's going to be paid DLC, which is fine. Um, but yeah, they're cranking out more Elden Ring. Shadow of the Erdtree
Yes,
coming out
sir.
sometime.
Some point in the near future, or I guess year future, I should say. Yeah, I'm actually quite excited for the Elden Ring community. Obviously, the game deserves its accolades and its flowers. So, I mean, I'm not going to say that more content for the game is going to be bad. I'm just curious to see how much content they add, if they're going to get unique with the bosses, like super unique, or if they're gonna keep them, I don't know, like revive some old bosses or some shit, and like what kind of new spells slash weapons they're gonna add.
I'd like to thank my reformed rabbi priest Bill Clinton for the announcement of this DLC.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. Speaking, or let's go ahead and segue into something that I'm pretty sure most people actually seen coming. Um, Xbox and Bethesda have officially announced that Starfield will release on September 6th on this year for PC and Xbox Series X/S. It was previously slated for the first half of the year. In an update video, director Todd Howard confirmed that
Todd Howard.
close enough. It's fine. That more details on the game will be revealed in a Starfield Direct presentation on June 11th. The game has many of the hallmarks that you'd expect from us, but also a very unique experience, he says. Um, okay. I'm starting to get tired too. um,
Oh, I thought you were just reading about Starfield.
that you know what? That could be it actually, because the
God
game is going
damn.
to fucking suck. No, I'm playing.
Nah. I
Maybe,
want it to be good. I want every Bethesda game to be good because the concept is always fine.
but then
It's just
the
the fact that Todd Howard goes, let's throw it on the Oblivion again. It
yeah,
kind of frustrates me.
yeah. I still don't understand that whole logic.
The last little bit that they showed off, whether it was E3 or sometime after that last year, um, didn't leave me super hopeful. It looked really unpolished. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm glad that they're taking the time, but like, this is another one of those instances where I wish devs would stop fucking announcing shit
Before
less
it's fucking
than
even near completion.
like give yourself like 2 years tops, but like a year and a half. Year
Yes.
and a half, 2 years from launch, be like, hey, it's coming out.
At some point.
Like I get it, you got to do marketing hype, you got pre-orders and shit, but like people are gonna pre-order a fucking Bethesda game regardless.
Yeah. Why
Like
don't
you can
you
sit
make that
there.
fucking pre-order justified?
Everyone knows what you're doing. You're gonna make an RPG in X setting, whether it's space now or Skyrim or Fallout. You're gonna make an RPG. It's all gonna play the same, and it's gonna be a really great time for everyone who jumps in on it.
Exactly. Now you just need to
Take that
update the
time.
fucking engine that you guys have been trying to recycle and make as long as last as long as possible, which you have. You know, Oblivion came out in what, '08?
2008, like
Yeah.
15 years is a great run,
Guys
guys.
guys did really fucking good, but it's time to move on. But yeah, I mean, I'll never say that I'm going to hate people delay or a development team delaying a game. It's just, we've repeated this time and time again. It's just like, just keep
It's
in mind that
it's
the hype
been
is
in
going to
the
keep building.
works for like 8 years. Let me Google to see when they announced Starfield because it honestly feels like it's almost been a cyberpunk length of time. Starfield announcement date. No, hang on. Starfield reveal date. This is being dumb.
It's okay.
Starfield's concept has been in the studio's mind since 2013. It has been in pre-production since 2015 and has been in a quote playable state since 2018.
Those aren't good
We will
numbers.
we will just say for the sake of argument a decade.
Jesus
Duke
Christ.
Nukem took 15 years. The only game that has ever outdone that, which happened very recently,
Is Beyond
is
Good and
Beyond
Evil.
Good and Evil 2.
Let's go. Just setting records in the worst way possible. Let's keep it going, boys.
I mean, the only thing that's going to make it worse is if they are all of the same level of quality as Duke Nukem, which I don't
That,
think Bethesda's going to fall that low.
yeah.
There's going to be a lot of tech issues because there always fucking is, but it's going to be an engaging enough world that people are going to look past it.
Mhm.
As long as they don't end up like another fucking Skyrim on PlayStation situation where they have to like genuinely question whether or not they're going to be able to do the DLC, which was a problem back in the day.
Yeah. Um, let's see here. Starfield was absent from the 25th Developer Direct as Microsoft didn't want to overshadow the the other announcements announced that day. Quote, to dedicate the proper amount of time for a deep dive into Bethesda Game Studios, Starfield, a standalone show, is in the works. Um, Microsoft said back in January, Bethesda has been slowly revealing more of its ambitious sci-fi games since it was first announced several years ago, with details on how factions work in Starfield, or classic Bethesda-style dialogue options, and ship combat being spoken about in interviews and deep dive videos. Before Starfield arrives, Microsoft will release Arcane's vampire hunting looter shooter Redfall in May, and both games will cost $70 as part of a reflection on the content, scale, and technical complexity of these titles, according to the company. For more on Bethesda's next IP. Okay, and then they link another thing. But let's see here. So Xbox Game Showcase is scheduled for the 11th. The event is right before Starfield Direct, but they don't
I
give.
think June 11th to specify, because it's around like this summer, like during E3,
Okay,
quote unquote
so
E3.
I think they're on the same day, but Starfield airs after the game showcase. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, but yeah. So
which is fine,
for
I
people
guess.
that were somehow getting bored of No Man's Sky, your next sci-fi exploration game is delayed once more. Which I don't know how you listen. If you enjoy those types of games, No Man's Sky should be more than plenty for you. That game is,
Yeah, at least as a holdover.
yeah. Or you can go to Elite Dangerous, or if you want to see pretty planets but not have a shit ton of like variety and content that you can do, you can also play Star Citizen. So,
Or Mass Effect.
um, let's see. Why don't we move on to talking about Capcom stuff? Let's talk about a ha ha he he
Capcom.
thing. GameStop
Okay,
employees freak out as all Resident Evil 4 CE store pre-orders get canceled.
it's very cool.
Resident Evil 4 Remake is just a couple weeks away, and while many players will buy the game digitally, most hardcore fans have probably reserved their $250 collector's editions that come with a complete statue of Leon holding a shotgun and looking tired as hell. The collector's edition was GameStop exclusive, however, and on Tuesday the company announced all in-store pre-orders had been canceled. Now employees are as exhausted as Leon at the prospect of having to call their most loyal customers and deliver the bad news. Quote, if you pre-order Resident Evil 4 Collector's Edition in store at GameStop, they just issued a memo stating the CE won't arrive in stores and will not be fulfilled / arriving. Pre-order King Wario 64 posted on Twitter last night on what was it? The 7th. So almost a week ago.
Hmm.
Does not mention anything about online orders, so I assume online orders are not affected.
I have no
Um,
idea.
let's see here. The news was confirmed over on the GameStop subreddit, where employees proceeded to melt down over the latest low-key fiasco at the meme stock company. It's not clear why canceled the in-store pre-orders, whether because of insufficient stock or software issues on the back end, but it won't matter to fans who thought they already had the hard-to-find collector's edition on lock. Quote, one of the pre-orders is for my regulars who are huge Resident Evil fans, and they got fucked over by pre-orders from the SAP conversion. Pretty bad, end quote, wrote one apparent employee on the subreddit. Quote, they were hesitant to pre-order anything for a while because of it. Now this. Sag. Um, Let's see here. GameStop, which has been battling declining revenues and stretching employees thinner and thinner, even as its stock price has soared to historic heights, suffered a major inventory system glitch last fall, as Kotaku reported at the time. A system-wide software conversion and completed borked most stores' pre-order records, leading to tons of cancellations and shipping issues throughout the season. So, based off of that, that tells me that it's possible that there are still some lingering bugs that might have fucked them over on this. Major blockbusters were affected like NBA 2K23, but it was even worse for hard copies of niche releases like Legend of Heroes Trails from Zero. Even as most players have switched to buying games digitally, die-hard fans and collectors still covet physical copies. Me in particular, when it comes to games that I buy for my Switch. Um, just because that's just what I associate with Nintendo consoles. I don't know why. Um, let's see here. Especially for more obscure games, beloved indie releases, and limited collector's editions, it's a possible sweet spot that GameStop, as the only brick and mortar gaming chain still standing, could cater to. Instead, pre-orders are more unpredictable than ever, and the consequences fall on underpaid and understaffed stores. We take hours cut, and now they expect us to make phone calls to people who are super excited about this game, who are 100% going to turn around and be angry or extremely upset about this, wrote one GameStop worker. Another wrote, it's like, holy crap, they are, or are they actively trying to kill the stores like they push, trying to sell pre-orders, and at the same time, oh yeah, if you pre-order in store, those are the first to get canceled if there's supply issues. Um, let's see here. Looks like there's an update on the 9th. GameStop confirms in an internal email reviewed by Kotaku that a significant number of collector's edition pre-orders have been canceled. We apologize for the impact this has on our customers and associates. Um, the email goes on to blame the pre-order debacle on the inventory software conversion from last fall. Um, this situation was one of the major issues presented by the SAP implementation last year. The email also states that GameStop will be offering customers who lost their pre-orders a $10 discount on copies of Resident Evil 4
Fuck
Remake.
off.
Though the company hasn't yet officially confirmed this policy. Oh boy.
A $10 discount because they fucked up and oversold the $300 collector's edition.
Jesus Christ.
Guys, if you're going to pre-order games, and I am staunchly in the do not pre-order games like market, but I get the collector's editions are almost exclusively pre-orders. Get them off fucking Amazon. Like, I know
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos is bad, no one likes him or whatever. You're gonna be guaranteed to get it.
Yeah.
If you absolutely refuse to do Amazon, I have never had anything but great, borderline fantastic luck with Best Buy.
Best Buy, Walmart, I think is pretty good
Best
about it.
Buy is great, and Best Buy, honestly, they're kind of fucking cornering the market on steelbooks. So if you're into that as well, like, just order it at Best Buy.
There you go. You heard it here first, folks.
Like, Best Buy sponsor me. I fucking love you guys.
So that sucks for Resident Evil fans that wanted to get a.
That is as someone who is a diehard Resi 4 fan and has been looking forward to this as like my game of the year. I am so fucking upset for everybody affected by this.
Yeah. Did you pre-order the collector's edition?
No, no. I didn't have the funds at the time, and I figured this shit would happen.
Carter's just too good at predicting, dude.
Well, it's like the last time I pre-ordered a collector's edition and actually got it was the Borderlands 3 loot chest. I think the
Mm,
last time I tried to pre-order a collector's edition in general was like Doom Eternal, and I got fucked out of that.
that's fair. So yeah. So unfortunate for people that wanted to get a really cool version of the game, or at least physical copy of the game, and wanted a neat statue as a result. I guess take that money and go ahead and try and pre-order it at Best Buy, because at least they'll tell you upfront whether or not you're going to be able to get it. So, um, let's see. Speaking of Resident Evil, why don't we talk about this Capcom Spotlight, Carter? Tell us all about this. What's going on
True.
here?
A lot of cool shit. Um, so Capcom did their little. I don't know. It feels derivative to call them Nintendo Direct, but like I don't know what else to call it. Capcom did their little Nintendo Direct thing this week, and there was a lot of pretty cool stuff. It was kind of mid overall, but um, I don't know. They made a big emphasis on Resident Evil, so I was pretty stoked about it. And Street Fighter. They hang on, pull it up here. Do, do, do. Yeah, so first thing they kicked it off with, well, I guess the biggest thing they kicked it off with They released a demo for Resident Evil 4 called the Chainsaw Demo. It's the very first like hours of the game with you walking into the village and fighting the swarm of villagers. Uh, I downloaded it. I played it. It's fucking phenomenal. Like the way it is able to capture the essence of what made me love the original so much while still being
An update.
like an update and a modernization on everything is so good. I am continually amazed at how well they balance out these with like the old shit and the new shit. Um, it's so good. I am so fucking excited for this game. You have no idea. Um, if you want to try it out for yourselves, it is on every major platform digital store: PlayStation, Xbox, Steam. It's free to download and it is infinitely replayable. So if you want to fucking hyper fixate over it for the next 3 weeks waiting for the full release, you can do that. They have also announced that Resident Evil Death Island, an upcoming CGI animated film, is coming out this summer.
Ooh.
I didn't know they were making that, so that'll be neat. um, Another big reveal that they did was the release date for Exoprimal, which is like their dinosaur shooter game, like a PvE thing. Set to come out July 14th with an open beta that runs from March 17th to 19th. So, as of the recording of this, it will be next weekend. They have also announced that it is a day one Game Pass title. The only reason I am not super stoked about this is because it is a live service game and they made it a point to market the Battle Pass for it, which fucking annoys me because it felt very tryhardy. Um, the gameplay looks good overall, though, so we will see. I'm willing to kind of wait it out and see what actually happens overall.
I did. I think I seen
Um,
a quick thing of gameplay for that, but it wasn't enough to really grab my attention. So I might try that open beta out and see how it is.
Interesting. Um, Next, they showed off some more stuff about their remake for Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, which is a DS game that's been, it's kind of an underground like cult classic. It's really beloved by the people that played it. That is getting a port to modern consoles on June 30th, including an improved UI, performance, and new remixes for all 37 of its music tracks. Pre-orders are available and include bonus music and background sets. I have no opinion on that, but I'm stoked for the people that do.
There you go. Ultimate positivity.
They announced a release date for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak that is coming to PlayStation, Xbox, and PC on April 28th. In addition to Sunbreak, that is the full base game as well, I should specify. So Monster Hunter Rise coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox, and PC on April 28th, alongside Sunbreak. They have announced another showcase for that closer to its release in April. Monster Hunter Sunbreak will also be launching on Switch that day as well. This article excludes it, but they did say that as well. So, Monster Hunter DLC month. So,
Beautiful.
so that'll be pretty neat.
I actually haven't played
Um,
Monster Hunter Rise, but World was pretty cool.
I haven't either. Yeah, World was neat. In honor of its 40th anniversary as a studio, Capcom has announced they are making a digital theme park called Capcom Town. They did not go over the exact details, but you can register for its grand opening on June 12th. Um, I don't know what that is. I guess we'll see. If they don't push NFTs down my throat, I guess it'll be a little cool nostalgia thing. Um, Street Fighter 6. They have revealed that Hikaru Takashi, I'm sure I butchered that, I apologize, is coming as a commentator to Street Fighter 6.
Oh,
Um, The Japanese actress will join previously announced commentators, including WWE superstar Zelina Vega. Commentary will also be available in 13 languages in the final game. Um, Basically, if you are not in the know for Street Fighter 6, they are having a bunch of people like record voiceovers and stuff for the purposes of commentary in the game to kind of give it like that Evo like fighting tournament feel, which looked pretty cool. Speaking of fighting tournaments, they have also revealed that it is going to be featured in the Pro Tour 2023 Esports Series this summer. First prize winner will receive $1 million.
God
So
damn,
there's a $1 million prize pool for Street Fighter 6 this year.
that's gross. Sign me up,
Pretty
dude.
much.
I'm finna
No
become a
shit.
Street Fighter prodigy overnight,
Right.
right here.
And then lastly, they showed off a little bit more info about the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection that comes out later this year. Um, in addition to the base games in their entirety, they are going to include all 499 patch cards that were originally only available in Japan for Mega Man Battle Network 4 through 6. I believe those were like a set of e-reader cards for the GBA releases originally, so that kind of bombed over here, and we didn't really get a lot of what Japan did.
Mm-mm.
So they're adding in those features into the game itself, which will be really neat. They're also adding in what is called Buster Max Mode, which makes the game easier by powering up Buster shots by 100. So if you just want to cruise through the story, there is a quote unquote story mode. And then they also showed off an art gallery with over 1,000 pieces of concept art that you can go through and unlock as you play through.
Beautiful.
So it's pretty neat.
Honestly,
I don't have a ton of attachment to Battle Network, but I know Kane's super into it. Um,
Mega Man's always been pretty solid. It's a
Mega
nice
Man's pretty
platformer to
neat.
play. I
Well,
did.
the Battle Network's an RPG.
Oh,
Yeah.
huh.
Excuse me.
Did not know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of older titles, I actually am thinking about picking up that Metroid Prime remake.
I need to. That'll probably be something I scoop when I get paid this week.
It
Because a lot of
looks.
people are starting to get the physical copies in stock.
Maybe I'll go to GameStop tomorrow and see if they have any physical copies. Because I'd rather
I
have a
know
physical.
Amazon and Best Buy have been pretty good about consistently stocking it.
I'd be down. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah,
Agreed.
so Capcom has a pretty solid lineup on the way. That's pretty cool. Good for them.
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of, well, we already talked about one day delay, so let's talk about another. But this one's comic book related. Rocksteady's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League appears to be facing yet another delay. According to a report from Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, Warner Brothers has delayed the game from its May 26th release date. This comes after fan backlash from the gameplay shown in Sony's most recent State of Play. However,
Schreier. Schreier.
Schreier. Okay. Delays like this are mainly for polish rather than overhauling the gameplay elements fans weren't fond of in last month's reveal. Um, the information comes from an anonymous source with direct knowledge of the matter. According to Bloomberg, a new release date has not yet been made clear. IGN has reached out to Warner Brothers for comment on this story. The State of Play's big gameplay showcase confirmed the Suicide Squad will be a live service game with a battle pass, an RPG style gear system, and required online connection. The game takes place in Rocksteady's Arkhamverse, but it looks like a big departure from the Arkham games that came before it. This isn't the first delay that this game has been hit with. Last year, Rocksteady pushed the game out of 2022 for a 2023 release. The game will have you choose between 4 members of the Suicide Squad: Deadshot, Harley Quinn, King Shark, and Captain Boomerang. who've been tasked with stopping Brainiac's invasion of Metropolis. This includes taking out possessed members of the Justice League like Flash, Superman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and Kevin Conroy's Batman. I actually seen a trailer for it and I was kind of confused on like what the fuck was going on. Also, how the hell are they supposed to beat Superman? He's kind of like busted, don't you know?
Yeah,
How
well, I
does that
mean,
work?
kryptonite bullets. So,
That's fair. Looking at snapshots right now and it doesn't look too bad.
no, and apparently this is a pretty hot take from what I've been told. I don't have a problem with how, like, the game itself looks. Gameplay looks fine. Um, I just don't like the live service aspect, which is really gonna
Yeah,
drag it down and really killed a lot of what they did show off about it for me
that's fair.
at the state of play a couple weeks ago, because they really were not fucking subtle about how hard they were gonna harp on that at all.
Huh. Yeah, no, I can understand that issue. Live service doesn't tend to work out too well for most games, especially with games like this. Live service is different for games that had like Diablo or like fucking Call of Duty or something like that where they can just keep continuously pumping out content or like they can just keep you going with really good gameplay loops, but I'm assuming Suicide Squad is supposed to be story driven.
Yeah, it's in the same like Arkham versus like Arkham Knight and Asylum and everything.
Okay. So my question is how the
Which is
fuck do
even
they
more
make
upsetting because it is, I believe, it is the very last thing that Kevin Conroy recorded as Batman before he died last year.
that's
So between this
that's
and Gotham Knights, yeah,
that is that's just really sad actually. I hope this game doesn't bomb.
yeah.
That'd be kind of
I
a
get the feeling
shitty
it
last work of art to do before you pass away.
well, let's go watch the animated series again. You can forget about it really quick.
That's fair. But yeah, so people that were looking forward to that game, looks like you're gonna have to wait a bit longer. So you get to join the
Yeah, that
Bethesda
is
squad.
currently. Not only have they not commented on it, the people that have been talking about it from the side are stating that there is currently no set date, so it is currently a rumored indefinite
Oh
delay.
God. Oh boy. Let's.
Yup.
I don't want the game to be canceled. Jesus Christ.
Oh, they put too much of it to cancel it.
Moving on to more positive news. Rollback netcode beta test for Dragon Ball Fighters coming soon. New balance update in the works, which is funny because they said that they weren't doing any more balance patches.
I was gonna
Um,
say I didn't even think they were doing the netcode update. I thought they were just gonna save that for two.
nope. They announced at Evo that they were going to do the rollback netcode, but they also said that they weren't doing any more balance patches. But clearly, that's a fucking lie. Um,
Neat.
so way back in Evo of last year, Bandai Namco announced that fighters would be getting rollback netcode, and after a long silence, we now have a better idea of what's going to be coming. DBFZ producer Tomoko Hiroki took to the stage of the Fighters World Tour Finals to announce an upcoming rollback beta test for the game, as well as a new balance update being in the works. The Steam version of Fighters will be receiving the rollback beta in the near future this spring, although no specific date has been revealed yet. Given Arc System Works' recent history with adding rollback to their older titles, however, we posit the full update should hit PC version in late spring or early summer. As was previously announced on the PS4, or as was previously announced last year, the PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch versions of Fighters will not be getting the rollback treatment. That's unlucky. I have Fighters for Switch, fuckers.
Yeah, the Switch one's kind of annoying,
That's really unlucky.
considering they're still like supporting that console.
Yeah. Instead, new console releases for the PS5 and Xbox Series X/S are on the way too, but no further info about the releases given at said event. Last year, the team stated they were done putting out balance patches for fighters, though that's apparently not the case anymore. Hiroki revealed there is one more update for the game in the works to adjust the characters another final time. That you can't say another. You can't say another final time. That's
Yeah, you can. They just did.
this is likely just as exciting as rollback for many players because the dominant meta of Labacote 21 and the few sand characters is even worse than it was last year. No release date was set for when the balance patch would hit the game, but given Hiroki said the decision was made in part because Fighters is an EVO 2023 main stage title again, it should arrive a good while before that takes place in early August. Hopefully, both rollback and balance update will arrive at the same time so players can try out everything at once. Um, Although there was no sign of a brand new Fighters game at the event, Bandai Namco did announce that a new entry, which we will talk about later, is on the way for fighting game fans. So, uh, Carter, this next iteration for the Dragon Ball fighting game franchises, are you excited for it?
Um, Fighter Z, I did not really play at its peak, so I don't have a lot to say. I'm very two does on that a little bit more. Um, but I am a lot more interested in the other fighting at that event.
Fair, which we
He
will go
segued
over
into the
in a
next
little
article.
bit.
Oh, okay.
We aren't going there just yet. Okay, we
All
can't
right,
go
all
there
right,
just
all
yet.
right.
Um, Actually, let's talk about a little bit of Magic the Gathering.
Undertale? Oh,
What the fuck?
there wasn't any Undertale news.
I was gonna say, I'm just like, where did this come from?
I don't know. I got the Undertale that after being on
Oh
the
yeah, you
year
did get that
next,
album in the mail,
so
didn't you?
I'm so happy.
True, true.
It's so good.
So, Magic the Gathering has a interesting history, but some of the cards that were first made are some of the rarest on the planet. And the one we're talking about is one of the most expensive cards period on the planet. Or rare Magic the Gathering card, the Black Lotus Alpha from the Alpha set is up for auction, and just so everyone is aware, the last one sold for more than $500,000. A pristine example of the Black Lotus, most sought after collectible card in all of gaming, which isn't necessarily the case, is now
I
up
would
for
say it's the
auction.
poster child for it.
Yeah, it's the poster child, but it's definitely not the most collectible card in all of card games. That's not real. Is now up for auction, signed on the case by its artist, the late Christopher Rush. The card has received the highest possible grade, a Gem 10 from PSA. A previous example, also sold by Rush or signed by Rush, sold in 2021 for $511,000. The online auction runs now through March 16th. This Black Lotus was first released in '93 as part of Magic's Alpha set. The card in question has been graded by Professional Sports Authenticators (PSA), one of the two main organizations to grade Magic cards. Um, while it is especially prized in game to cast powerful spells quickly, the Black Lotus has over the years become to represent the trading card hobby itself. Um, this is considered to be the greatest Magic the Gathering card of all time and is arguably the most important issue in the history of trading card games, said Peter Petapas, manager of trading card games at PWCC Marketplace, the company that is conducting the auction. In a news release, games like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh would not exist without Magic the Gathering. And the Alpha Black Lotus is one of the first examples of a Grail card in TCGs. The fact that this copy is signed on the case by the legendary Christopher Rush makes it all the more special. I would argue that maybe Yu-Gi-Oh you could say wouldn't exist without Magic. I don't know about Pokemon.
Well, the
I don't.
TCG.
Yeah, maybe the TCG, but they all they had to do is wait for the games to come out in the West, and they could have released the game cards, and it would have just been just as popular. So. I wouldn't say it influenced Pokemon's card game, but Yu-Gi-Oh, I think you could. I think you could say that. Um, But yeah, so that auction's going on right now. I might actually follow it just to see how much it ends up selling for, just because I'm curious. Um, Maybe I'll put it on my credit card,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
then just resell it. It'll be fine.
Take out a life insurance policy, fake your death. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. So I guess we'll have.
I don't
I'm
know why
sure.
you would spend so much money on it. It's just a fucking like D tier item in the Binding of Isaac.
Is it actually?
It's not D tier. It is an item in the Binding of Isaac though.
That's cool. It's pretty lit.
So it is. Gives you
Um,
a 3 HP upgrade.
a word?
Yeah,
Health is
it's pretty
always
good.
important.
Health is super important in a
Hmm.
game where health is currency.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Carter, why don't you tell us about this rumor about the next Nintendo console?
Why don't I? Indeed.
Hmm.
Let me get to that real quick. Doop doopity doo. Doopity doo. My god, it's taking forever. My internet
Is it struggle busting a little bit?
is a little struggle bus. A new report has shed more light on the video game industry landscape as it relates to the overall size and health of the market. In particular, it claims the PS5 is expected to increase its lead over the Xbox Series X and S in the time to come. This report article from GameSpot also suggests that the next Nintendo hardware platform will launch in 2024. Ampere Analysis says in a note that the PS5 has reached 30 million units sold at the end of 2020. Oh my god, let me start that again. Ampere Analysis said in a note that the PS5 has reached 30 million units sold as of the end of 2022, compared to the Series X and S's combined 18.5 million.
Oh my.
Sony publishes new PS5 figures every 3 months, while Microsoft no longer shares Xbox sales numbers. It is unclear where exactly Ampere is getting the information beyond its own estimate. Let me see. Going toward the meat of the article here, both the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S aren't anywhere close to the Nintendo Switch, which sold more than 122.5 million units as of December 31st, 2022. This report went on to say that a next generation console for Nintendo will launch, quote, toward the end of 2024, end quote, but that is all it had to say. There have been rumors of a more powerful Switch percolating for a long time now, but Nintendo never confirmed this. They have confirmed, however, that they will launch a new console before the year 2100. This also does kind of follow a trend. The original model launched in 2017, Switch Lite came out in 2019, and the OLED came out in 2021. So assuming that they are doing a model every 2 years, they would be about on track if they did end of this year, beginning of next,
True.
in keeping that.
It makes sense.
So yeah, not a ton of news, but I mean it's coming from a
Bit of
relatively
speculation here.
respected speculator. So,
That's pretty
but
cool. I'm definitely hoping that they do. That'd be pretty cool. And honestly, the
I
the Switch needs the update. In all honesty.
it just I say it every time we talk about Nintendo, but it baffles me that they continue to be so against throwing money at them
Right.
because they are the one company that can capitalize on my nostalgia until I am fucking dead.
Also true.
But what do I know?
Yeah, you're just a Nintendo stan. You know. Don't listen to
Fucking
him. He's literally telling you
there's
how you guys
more
can make
copies
a
of
shit ton of
Mario
money.
Kart 8 in people's hands than there are people in like third world countries. So
Hmm.
what do I know?
No. Yeah. So, moving on to way more hype news, in my opinion. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi is making a comeback, lads. After nearly over a decade since the last entry, Bandai Namco reveals its brand new entry into the Tenkaichi series. Um, it's or more specifically, they released info that it's currently being in developed or it is currently in development. It was revealed during the Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour 2023, an event hosted by Bandai Namco that is focused exclusively on games based on the enduringly popular anime property. It included a tournament for the Dragon Ball Fighters, four Dragon Ball Fighters, a card game tournament, and even occasional music interludes by Hironobu Kageyama, the singer of many of the songs made for GBC. One of the biggest surprises that caught fans off guard was the announcement of the new Tenkaichi game. For the uninitiated, Budokai Tenkaichi is a 3D series of 3D arena fighting games that were developed by Spike during the mid 2000s, which were released for both the PS2 and Wii. There were three games made for this subseries, with each game getting a bigger roster, and the third game having the largest of the lot, containing several popular and deep-cut fighters in its roster. Besides a PSP spin-off, fans didn't see another entry in the series for another several years, with games like Xenoverse taking up the reins as a de facto DBZ arena fighting game. With this in mind, it is no surprise that the announcement of a fourth game in the series after such a long absence was a big shot to nostalgic fans. Um, they went into detail about the trailer, which if you guys haven't seen it already, it looks fucking beautiful. So I am definitely looking forward to this because I am one that, while I'm not really good at fighting games, I definitely like fighting games. They're fun. As long as you aren't playing with Kane, that just, has you just chill in a fucking corner until he kills you. Carter, what you got to say on that? Uh oh. Did you mute your mic, bud? Maybe he DC? I'm not for sure. Okay.
What
Um,
about now?
there we go.
I don't know what that was. I literally pushed nothing.
Oh, it's beautiful. But
um,
yeah,
yeah, Dragon Ball. I don't have a ton of experience in the animes, but I've got quite a bit of nostalgia for both Dragon Ball and the Budokai games. I rented the fuck out of those when I was a kid. Never bought one, but I played a fuck ton of them. So to see that that's coming back has me hyped.
hmm
I am a little worried about the modernization of that series, aka um, what every fighting game has now, which is 8 fucking seasons of DLC that will eventually to the base roster of the old games.
yeah.
But
I'm really hoping that doesn't happen. I mean, it's probably going to, but I'm hoping it doesn't happen.
it will, and people will pay for it because nostalgia goggles. It's like I just said earlier. It's a valid marketing technique,
Yep.
but
Can't blame them for
I will say
capitalizing
I
on it.
am no, I will say I'm a bit surprised that they are going back to that series with the giant success that Fighter Z.
Yeah, Fighters was actually a very, very big success. In all honesty,
I'm very surprised to see them doing both.
yeah. So yeah. So we got that to look forward to for the peoples that want to watch, Goku beast piece up some peoples, in better graphic format.
Don't ruin my boy Majin Buu. He was my main. If you nerf him, I'm never playing it until I
Never,
do.
he says.
Until I do.
He can just be that stubborn guy that plays it regardless if he's good or not.
It's true. That's how I play Smash.
Exactly, exactly. I'm definitely hyped for it nonetheless, though. I think it's going to be a good
Yeah, same.
game. But
Same,
yeah,
same.
so obviously, as more news comes out about the game, we'll keep you guys updated. But for now, all we got is a trailer, so you can look it up on YouTube. It will probably be the number one or the first one that actually pops up. Will be the official trailer. So
Go watch it, you jive turkeys.
yeah. Moving on, sorry, not moving on per se, more like circling back to Nintendo being assholes. Um, so according to Games Radar, 75% of all Pokemon titles will disappear commercially when Nintendo closes the 3DS and Wii U eShop. The figure comes from Phil Salvador of Video Game History Foundation, who tweeted a graph that demonstrates what percentage of Pokemon games will be available to purchase from Nintendo once the 3DS and Wii U eShops close down for good this month. Um, if you guys look at the tweet, it will be in the article, which will be in the description of the video. Only 25%, soon to be 26, of Pokemon games will be available to purchase in any form from March 27th and onward. If you're wondering, the games included in this 26% are all playable on the Switch, so that includes Scarlet and Violet, Legends Arceus, Sword and Shield, and so on. It also includes those available through Nintendo's Virtual Consoles, so Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 via the Nintendo 64 emulator, and soon the Pokemon TCG on the Game Boy emulator. As for the games we'll be losing, according to Salvador's graph, it'll soon be much trickier to find the likes of Pokemon Red and Blue, Yellow, Gold and Silver, X and Y, Sun and Moon, Detective Pikachu, and a bunch of the Mystery Dungeon games. This has understandably got to be disappointing news for longtime Pokemon fans who may not be able to play some of their favorite games in the series. There's always hope that the Nintendo will bring more Pokemon games to Nintendo Switch via the Switch Online. But since there isn't a DS, 3DS, or Wii Virtual Console just yet, we may have to wait a while before we get to revisit the classic games. Which it really shouldn't be that fucking hard because most people on the internet have already done the fucking work for them. But they just ignore that part. It's fine. How do you feel about that, Carter?
I I mean, I said it with the last Nintendo thing. I continue to be baffled they make or seemingly don't make when it comes to their flagship franchises. I understand that it doesn't make sense to support the Wii U or 3DS eShops 6 years into the Switch's cycle when it prints money the way that it does. But the fact that there is no even fucking attempt at preservation for those platforms, um, I think is inexcusable at this point.
Eek.
When it's pretty like public as far as the mainstream desire for game preservation because people hate scalpers, which is it's going to fuck up the scalper economy too.
Yeah.
You think you're paying an arm and a leg for Heart Gold and Soul Silver? Wait until people go nostalgia blind for X and Y,
Yep.
and it becomes as expensive.
I agree.
Um, I don't condone piracy. I think it's at its foundation it's bad. But if you as a company are going to
Not give them any choice, then I
make
mean,
it unfeasible to do anything else, I am not going to judge you for your actions. Not me encouraging
abs-
any. I am just saying that I understand the mindset to take that route.
I agree, honestly. You guys
Um,
make it kind of hard for people to want to get the game organically when you aren't exactly doing them any favors and just refusing to just simply migrate the games over.
which, speaking of, now that we're on this, can I rant about the fucking Pokemon Direct?
Go ahead, bud.
The Pokemon Direct was so bad. So, let me go back up and find it here. They did a little Pokemon Direct since the last time we have been in here for Pokemon Day, which they do every February. Fine, awesome. I was looking forward to it. Um, a lot of people were anticipating, with the 3DS and Wii U eShop closures on the horizon, with the fact that they had just recently announced all of the Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Nintendo Online stuff, what makes more sense to put on those emulators than the best-selling video game franchise of all time?
Yeah, you would think that they would start with that.
So the starting lineup for the GBC GBA games on the Nintendo Switch Online membership, when it comes to Pokemon, was the Pokemon trading card game on Game Boy Color. Do you want to guess in this 25-minute presentation centered around the Pokemon series in its entirety? Do you want to guess how many more games were announced for that service during this live stream?
All I know is that they announced DLC for the games for Scarlet and Violet. That's all I know about it.
They are not putting, and I'm going to break this down in terminology that makes it sound stupid on purpose. They are not putting 3 megabyte ROM file for any Generation 1, 2, or 3 games, or any of their spin off games on the Nintendo Switch Online service at this time.
At this time, or just period?
They did not announce the addition of any main Pokemon to the NSO
That's
platforms.
actually insane.
Ahead of Pokemon Home support hitting Generation 9, ahead of DLC, which they've confirmed is getting a fuck ton of old Pokemon added to the national decks. They just aren't doing anything with those old titles.
I just don't understand why they refuse to just. I
But you can play the Pokemon Generation 1 Pokemon trading card game using a rule set from 1999 on your Nintendo Switch.
I just don't understand. So you put a game that, while is retro and may have some nostalgic feels to it, you put a Nintendo 64 Pokemon game on the roster for the online bullshit, but you didn't put Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. You didn't put the first one. They didn't put any Gen 1 games. No Gen 2 games. No Gen 3 games. No Gen 4 games. No Gen 5 games. No Gen 6 games. No Gen 7 games.
No. The current Pokemon lineup on the Switch as far as main series go is Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet, and the crappy Diamond Pearl remake. Those are all of the mainline Pokemon games that you can play on the Switch right now.
But I don't really know how many times Nintendo is going to have to hear you guys, for as intelligent you guys are with like most of your marketing and stuff. You guys are really fucking dumb about your I just
They
don't
will do
understand.
everything to nostalgia bait, but make the nostalgia bait playable.
It's just like you guys don't have to do anything besides copy paste a ROM
Just dump
into,
ROM files.
and you just have to copy paste an emulator and then file dump all the games onto the Nintendo shop.
Which people did immediately after the Game Boy and stuff got put on the Switch. Like it is literally that easy, where you just add the ROM files to be loaded into the emulators that they have. Like it's not a special type of file that they're using for their
Nope.
first party.
It's probably just really basic and for a ROM and ROM hack and ROM file, but they
It is. Hackers did it
just
within like 2 hours of the GBA going live.
I just don't I just don't understand. What am I
It's great.
supposed to say?
It's great.
Oh
So,
man.
um, there were a couple of things that I thought were pretty cool about it. Get that out of the way. um, Scarlet and Violet, as I said, DLC is coming out this year. They have also said they are continuing to work on performance patches for the game. Um, my understanding is the most recent version of it has a bug that wipes your save file, so maybe don't. Um, They did announce new Paradox Pokemon, Iron Leaves, and Walking Wake. Walking Wake is a Paradox form for Suicune in Pokemon Scarlet, and then Iron Leaves is a Paradox form for Virizion, the big deer from Gen 5, is in Pokemon Violet.
Yes. I
I
still
don't know.
say that Pokemon Scarlet has way more creative mons for their paradox. Like I understand that you know the futuristic versions are robot versions or whatever, but it's just like you guys were somewhat creative with Iron Valiant. You combine two mons into one. That's fine, but it's just like you can distort the designs a little bit more creatively for the rest of them. I don't understand. Like Iron Leaves
I
is
agree.
literally just like they took the Virizion model and just made it metallic and then called it good.
Yeah.
And I've seen people both loving and hating the Suicune one. I don't mind it. I've heard he's actually really strong too. So
As the resident Gen 2 stan, I think done better.
that's fair. So yeah. Um at least we got some new legendaries, I suppose.
True. Yes, they have also announced. They showed off a couple new mons as well. Um, part one of the DLC is called Hidden Treasure of take place where all the endgame stuff did, which will be pretty cool. Um, oh, I guess sorry, they're both called Hidden Treasure of Part one for the DLC is called the Teal Mask, which is coming out this fall. Part two is the Indigo Disc, which will come in winter 2020.
I remember hearing a little bit about those. Not too much though.
So those are up for pre-order in the eShop. If you are that interested, I would personally wait for a couple more balance patches to the base game because, like I said, it's currently in a worse state than it was at launch.
Wait, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is broken?
There is a bug right now with the current version of the game that is the
Oh,
so
what the fuck?
yeah. So yeah. Um, couple more things that are pretty cool. Zykian is getting added to Pokemon Unite. That is the dog with a sword in its mouth from Pokemon Sword.
The Doge.
So that'll be pretty cool. I still think Unite's pretty fun, especially as someone MOBA games. Um, I did not realize that they were still supporting Pokemon Cafe Remix. They are.
Amazing.
Care about that? There's that for you. Um, they are doing a new Netflix series called Pokemon Concierge. It is a stop motion animated series. It takes place at a Pokemon resort. There wasn't a ton of info on it, but the art style looked pretty cool. I don't know if I'll have Netflix when it comes out, but we'll see how it does.
Hmm. I'm pretty much
Um,
canceling mine as soon as Pokemon Ultimate Journeys is over.
that's valid. They finally gave us a fucking info dump on Pokemon Sleep, which got announced like 5 years ago. Um, Pokemon Sleep is exactly what it says in the name. It is exactly like Pokemon Go, except instead of rewarding you for going out and exploring the world, it rewards you for getting
A good night's sleep.
the app will measure, record, analyze your Pokemon who tend to sleep in the same way that you do will show up in your. The game is thereby encouraging various styles. Um, the live stream also reintroduced the Pokemon accessory, which can be used with Pokemon Go and Pokemon. They are making another Pokemon Go Plus thing, which looked honestly kind of reminded me of the Pokewatch from Soul Silver and Heart Gold,
Mm.
which was pretty neat. Um, I don't know how it is meant to work, but it will be able to do all the sleep monitoring needed for sleep as well as standard feature last model had for Pokemon. So
Beautiful.
I thought that was kind of cool.
Mhm.
As someone who sleeps like 12 hours a day, when the opportunity stoked to do.
Quite true.
Last two things on here, I kind of wanted to save the best two for last ones for. Pokemon World Championships are going to take place from August 11th to 13th in Japan at the Pacifico Yokohama. Gamers will compete in the Scarlet and Violet trading card game as well as. They will also be live streaming this event. And then lastly, and I expect that we will get more information on this at the World Championships, if not before, they are doing a Pokemon trading card game classic. They didn't say a ton about this, but
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
they are re-releasing the original line of Pokemon trading cards. And when I say the original line, they are reprinting generation of Pokemon trading cards.
Mhm.
It is coming out in a deluxe package designed to be an all-in-one way to play the TCG. It is expected to launch later this year. Pricing has not been announced. Oh, okay, and it says right here, more information will be revealed about this Pokemon Championships.
Yeah, it's not supposed to come out
So
until like later, way later this year, but
I would imagine that's a big holiday thing for him this year.
yeah,
It is going normal.
it's gonna be pretty much the same thing as like I want to say same thing, but um I think they said that it's gonna retail for around like 250 USD. Um
Which, if you're getting a whole fucking
yeah, it's I think it's like two or
awful.
three starter decks. It comes with like its only like its own like custom arena type of like playmat type of thing. Custom dice and damage counters and shit like that. So, and I think it also comes with special foiling for the original starters as well.
Yeah. So that's not bad. I
Yeah,
would, and as someone who started playing that when it first came out, that would be a cool nostalgia item to have.
quite
See, they
true.
can do it right sometimes.
Mhm. Just not most of the time.
Right.
Mhm.
So that was everything they announced in the Pokemon Showcase.
Awesome.
A lot of stuff to tepidly look forward to. I suppose.
Very much so. I think the last two articles I wanted to trim over really quick were for one, for people that love Behavior Interactive and Blumhouse and Atomic Monster for devs and publishers, or more specifically Dead by Daylight, you guys should be fucking enthused beyond all belief because if you haven't heard already, apparently a Dead by Daylight movie is currently in the works. Behavior
Mm-hmm.
Interactive has teamed with Atomic Monster and Blumhouse to develop Dead by Daylight's feature film adaptation, which will bring the world of the entity to the big screen for the first time. We've always considered Dead by Daylight to be a celebration of the horror genre on which Jason Blum and James Wan have made significant marks, and we truly couldn't be happier to announce this exciting partnership. Quote, we couldn't be more thrilled to work with Jason and James, the two giants of the horror film industry, to further expand the Dead by Daylight universe, says Stephen Mulrooney, Executive Vice President at Behavior Interactive. Atomic Monster and Blumhouse are the ideal partners to craft Dead by Daylight serial or killer entrance into the big screen. In Dead by Daylight, the Behavior team has created a love letter to the world of horror, building an incredible environment teeming with an atmosphere and terrifying villains. Perfect for a scary cinematic adaptation, adds James Wan. We're big fans of the game at Atomic Monster, and we are thrilled to be teaming up with Blumhouse to bring this frightening, visceral world to the big screen. Um, the search for a director and screenwriter is underway, and Jason Blum is determined to find the perfect fit. There are so many fans of Dead by Daylight out there, and think it's imperative we find someone who appreciates and loves the world as much as we do to help us bring the game to the big screen. says Jason. We know our partners at Behavior and Atomic Monster will help us bring the best version of this game to life. Producers include once again Jason and James and Stephen Mulrooney. Executive producers include Behavior Interactive's Remy Racine, Atomic Monsters' Michael Clear and Judson Scott, Blumhouse's Ryan Turek, and Striker Entertainment's Russell Binder. So, this was on the official Dead by Daylight website, by the way. So, I mean, I'm sure they'll be doing frequent updates as soon as they can. This seems more like it's in the planning phase versus anything else, so it's probably going to be a few years before we actually see a release date. So, but what do you think about that, Carter?
I have no fucking idea how they're gonna. I'm very interested to see how they do it, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of that game power crossover that they do with other horror IPs. So to see that it's getting its own movie, I'm very curious to see if at all how much they lean into that aspect.
That's fair. They do definitely make a lot of hype off of like nostalgic killers coming back, but I don't know.
And it
I
wasn't
don't
even
know.
nostalgic stuff. Like done shit for like Stranger Things. There's a Resident Evil 2 and 3 crossover event. We've got like Left 4 Dead stuff in there. Scream's still active. I mean, uh,
I guess the bigger
it's
question
just
is like how popular like the game's original characters are, and then
that's more so what I'm interested to see if they
yeah,
just rest on that stuff or if
yeah, because it's gonna be
full
kind of
tilt.
hard for them to get fucking IP rights to make their own movie regarding a shit ton of main serial killers from a shit ton of franchises
Yeah,
or like monsters in general. So
but I don't know. I trust them to do it. Blumhouse.
House is pretty
They're
solid.
working. They're also working on the Five Nights at just finished
True.
filming. So, which I don't know if you've seen. I don't know how into following, but
Does it
there are
look
people
solid?
that took. There are people that took um, like video and pictures of the set town that they were shooting because they like completely built like a Freddy Fazbear's pizza place for the set and movie to take place inside of. The the visual from the outside is exactly what you expect in your head when someone talks about it.
Beautiful. That's a good
So,
sign.
and I think I don't know if this is still the case, but at one point I think they had like Jim Henson's studio doing the electronic design for the movie.
Beautiful.
The Muppet Studio themselves.
I like it. I like it a lot. So
They
yeah,
care about the craft.
that's always good to know is when directors actually give a shit about the, the universe that they're building a movie around.
Yeah.
Or I should say screenwriters and directors, but um I guess the last thing I really seen that we could probably talk about is Mario Kart 8. So Booster Cars Pass Wave 4 track list was revealed on the 2nd, and I think at this point it should be out now. Yeah,
It
it
is
came
out
out.
as of Thursday.
Yep. So as of Thursday, we could let's see. While we already knew this DLC wave could include or would include Birdo as a playable character in a new course called Yoshi's Island, we didn't know the full track list. Released gameplay trailer today, however, that reveals all the courses coming to the game. So, in case you missed it, which obviously I did, here's every course coming to the game, which is already in the game as of 3 days ago. Amsterdam Drift for Tour. This is under Fruit Cup, by the way. So Amsterdam Drift Tour, Riverside Park from GBA, Donkey Kong Summit from Wii, Yoshi's Island, which is brand new. And then for Boomerang Cup, you have Bangkok Rush, which is also from Tour,
Okay.
Mario Kart Circuit from DS, Waluigi Stadium from GCN,
GameCube,
Singapore.
Double Dash.
There we go. Singapore Speedway from Tour, and that's it. So 8 new tracks for 2 different cups. That's pretty solid. One brand new
That's
one.
not it. They also announced or released a.
They announced what?
They got Birdo in the.
Yeah,
So
which is Birdo, this pink character on this fucking.
how the fuck do you not know who Birdo is? Yes.
I honestly haven't played a lot of Mario games.
It's Christ. Yes, that is Birdo.
Hello, Birdo. She looks
Um,
familiar. If that
I
makes you feel better.
I mean, yeah, she's in like all of the fucking spin-off games, like
Beautiful.
Yoshi's partner in a lot of
Oh, I see.
them. um, yeah, I played through these courses. I was playing them this weekend, hanging out with some friends. Uh, the Yoshi's Island track, and pretty agreed upon online right now as well. The Yoshi's Island track is like fan service that they have ever done in a Mario Kart track. Like more so than the Zelda course, more so than the Animal Crossing, which I adore. Um, Yoshi's Island is just fucking perfect. They went so unnecessarily hard on it.
Oh,
So good. Um, and then the other tracks are good too. I still don't really care for the overall course design that they use for Mario Kart Tour. It's very open ended and it's very easy to get like lost even if you're following the map, just because of how many routes have. But I mean, like visually, aesthetically, everything stands out great.
I see.
It's really cool to see like the Game Boy Advance and the DS one ported to like a high definition platform, because those were pretty much pixel art on the platforms that they were out on initially, and they look fantastic. It's so good. Um, and one other thing that they didn't necessarily announce it or confirm it or well they did confirm it, but with the update that added Birdo to the playable characters sheet, there are also now spaces blocked out for future characters in the remaining tracks that are set to come out. So start start speculating your Mario Kart pick. There's some people coming back.
Yeah, be on the lookout. Be scared, fuckers. Yeah, but yeah. So, and then they said Wave 4, so I'm assuming this is the fourth DLC package or whatever that they've came out with.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and they
So
they do them in orders of two. So there's 2 cups for every expansion
I
that
see.
comes out. Um, it's $20 DLC. Otherwise, if you've got the Nintendo Switch expansion pack, you get it for free, um, alongside the N64, GBA, Animal Crossing stuff.
Mm,
Um, so you have it for free if you've got the expansion pass.
there you go. And how much is that expansion pass, Carter?
It is a $60 a year membership.
Boom. There you go.
If you want to buy the standalone DLC, which I recommend and encourage because that's what I do, $20. $20 and you get like this. By the time it's done, it is literally going to double the tracks.
I
So
see.
for the base game, but
Okay. Well then, I don't think I really had anything else that I wanted to talk about. Did you, Carter?
let me check. Oh, just one little quick tangent. Metal Hellsinger, which is a game that I thoroughly enjoy. It is Doom, but it's rhythm based, and the soundtrack is completely originally done. It has some of the like biggest names in metal that you could think of. It's got like Serge Tankian from System of a Down. It's got like so many fucking bands from metal represented in this game. They have announced DLC coming out this month, which basically also means new music featuring. And I realize this is a super niche thing that only I'm going to care about between the two of us. Um, it is going to have Christina Scabia from Lacuna Coil, who I listened to a lot as a child. Super, really cool, like alternate metal. She's got a really killer voice. I love her. Um, and they're also doing a song with Will Ramos from Lorna Shore, the most terrifying vocalist on the face of the planet right now. Um, hang on, I will play. I don't know how well it'll pick up on the mic, but like,
Wait, isn't that copyrighted?
It's just like a little 10-second snippet.
Oh, okay.
You're copyrighted for that.
Oh my.
He's the man.
That is a
He
terrifying
does this
voice.
live, by the way. Hang on, hang on. So if you're into that, um,
Then this game is
which
perfect for you.
them aside, if you're looking for something to scratch the Doom Eternal itch, that is very well worth your time.
Boom. Bombo Club.
So, Bumbleclap.
Yes. But anything else, Carter, you would like to talk about?
That's it. Support indie devs. Go listen to metal.
Boom. That'll make your life fuller. But alrighty, well, I think we'll go ahead and end the podcast here. I hope y'all enjoyed the news snippets that we gave y'all today. If you did, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. All of our socials as well as our Twitch channel should be in the description, so you can go and follow those as well as the Discord. Um, Also, would like to point out that I actually sent out my first card to get graded ever, so it's going to be coming back hopefully within like the next week, week and a half. And depending on whether or not I actually like the slab, I will be sending out more, which if I do, then you guys will probably start seeing graded card submissions start popping up on the channel. This will include Digimon, Pokemon, maybe some Yu-Gi-Oh, Dragon Ball Super, stuff like that. Just some trading card games, because I've gotten into it a little bit more seriously over the last year. So it's been a pretty good time, and I kind of want to make content on it. So expect to see that, and we'll see how it goes. But other than that, I think that's all we got for you tonight. Carter, go ahead and say your outro, dude.
Thanks for coming out to the show, everyone. If you had a gamer-tastic time, follow the socials down below in the comments section on YouTube, Pornhub, or wherever you are watching this podcast.
Yeah, leave us some comments too. Tell us what you like, tell us what you hate, tell us,
Yeah. Tell me
tell
how
us
wrong I am about every opinion I've ever on
exactly.
the show.
Tell us your fucking favorite
I
color.
would
I
I
don't
would
know.
love to hear your juicy little hot take.
Exactly. So, but yeah, that's all we got for y'all tonight. Have a good one.